Hello, Seiiti Arata. Why do you have a problem focusing on your studies? Well, maybe you have a meaning problem. Let's be clear about the difference. You're not struggling to focus because you are a bad person, because you're lazy, or because you're easily distracted. No. Maybe you are struggling because your brain does not see, does not perceive studying as something that is as valuable as other things that you're prioritizing, because your brain is always making trade-offs. It's always asking, okay, what is more rewarding? Is it studying or is it checking my phone? Is it studying or talking to someone? Is it studying or getting a snack? And every time it will pick the choice that feels more rewarding right now. And this happens because of something called present bias. Your brain naturally overvalues the immediate reward and undervalues a future benefit. So that's why checking social media will feel more tempting than preparing for an exam. Your brain sees an instant payoff. On the other hand, studying feels like work. The rewards are distant, right? So if you don't trick your brain into seeing studying as something urgent, something rewarding, something emotionally meaningful, you always feel resistance. No matter how much you say, no, you must focus, you must focus, you must focus. Your mind will wander. So let's talk about how and why you're getting distracted. The distractions that you're dealing with, they come from two places, and I mean all distractions. It doesn't matter if these distractions are like your phone notifications or random thoughts or just feeling restless. Some distractions are external, meaning that they come from your environment, and other distractions are internal. They come from your own mind. So let's explore both of them. First of all, let's deal with the external distractions. These are all the things happening around you that are interrupting, that are breaking your focus. And there's something called the cocktail party effect. Cocktail party effect. It explains exactly why notifications on your phone are so difficult to ignore. Imagine that you are in a cocktail party. There's loud music, there's people talking everywhere. So even with all that noise, the moment someone says your name, you immediately hear it. Your brain has been trained, has been evolved over centuries, so that things that are meaningful to you socially will get your attention. That's why when your phone vibrates, your brain automatically shifts the attention, because the phone is something very personal. Maybe it's somebody calling you or trying to write to you. And the worst part is that once your focus is broken, it can take a long time for you to get it back. There is a concept in psychology called the cost of switching, which shows that every time that you are interrupted, even if it's something so quick, in just 1 second, it can take you an average of 23 minutes just for your brain to get that deep focus back. Now imagine if your phone is ringing or interrupting you every 15 minutes, you're never gonna get deep focus, do real focused work. So what is the solution here? You need to eliminate distractions before they even happen. And this means that you have to be turning off your notifications completely while you study. It's not just, oh, let me check something quick. No. It's not, oh, let me put my phone face down. No. You really have to turn all notifications off, because then you are removing them. You're not having to deal with them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Whoa, Arata, I can't do that because I need my phone. Okay. You can use structured procrastination. You can set specific times for you to be procrastinating, checking your messages. You're going to do that later. This way, your brain will not feel like it's missing out, because there is a time for you to do that. And then when you're studying, you can maintain your focus. There's one more thing. You need to design your environment, just like an athlete preparing for a competition. You can think about how a professional athlete will prepare for an important competition. They don't just go there and show up and hope for the best. And they create the perfect conditions for them to achieve peak performance. So you have to do the same thing. If your environment to study is noisy, you have to use noise cancelling headphones or get some time of the day when there is more solitude, more quiet place. If you're always hungry or thirsty, well, you have to deal with that before you start to study. Don't make your study harder than it needs to be. Let's now talk about the internal distractions, because maybe you can deal with all the external problems, all the external distractions, but still your brain will be finding very creative ways to interrupt yourself. And the reason is simple. The brain does not like open loops, unfinished tasks. This is the Zeigarnik effect. This is the tendency of your brain to fixate on unfinished businesses. That's why the moment you sit down to study, then your brain will suddenly remind you that you need to buy that thing. There is that thing you have to do. There's that person you have to call or write to. There is that thing that you forgot in that place. And you know what I mean, right? You already felt something like this before. And this is very difficult to avoid. Why is your brain doing that? Because we hate unfinished businesses. The moment you start focusing to do one thing, your brain will be alerting you about all the other things that are not finished. These things are on the background. So what can you do? It's very simple. Anytime your brain randomly appears with something in your mind, you're going to get a pen, you got a piece of paper, and you're going to write it down. So once it's written down, your brain will stop alerting you about something that you're afraid of forgetting again. And this will remove that pressure for you, because now you can focus on your study. There's another thing. You have to deal with internal resistance. Because a lot of times you're not really distracted. You're trying to study and you're avoiding that because you're feeling anxious about it. Maybe you're telling yourself, I don't think I'm good enough. I'm not learning fast enough. This is too hard. I was supposed already to understand this. What's going on? So there's this self-judgment that will make it even harder for you to focus. So what I want you to do, stop trying to be perfect. Studying is not about being perfect. It is about progress. If you're struggling, it means it's okay. You're learning. That's a good thing. People who succeed, they are the ones who will feel the difficulty and they continue, they persist, right? Now let's talk about something which is a game changer. It's going to be a real fix. You have to study in a way that you understand your emotional why. Because a lot of people think that motivation comes from, I don't know where. And after you have the motivation, you will be able to do things. We already talked about that. It's your action that will provide you motivation. The more you do something, the more invested, the more motivated you will be about it. So this is something that has been studied in psychology. Also, there is some research showing that people who feel more in control of their lives, in control of their work, they see more progress and they stay engaged. So if you're feeling connected to your study, that's great. But if you're not, ask yourself 3 questions. First one, what will happen when I don't succeed? Please don't give me some vague answer like, it's going to be bad. I'm going to be sad. No. What will be the actual consequences for you not mastering whatever it is that you're trying to study? Second, how will my future self thank me when I succeed? So you see, this is not just about today. You have to visualize the long-term benefits. You can imagine your future self already succeeding, and then somehow opening a portal and looking back at you at this moment, the very moment you're right now, saying, whoa, that decision was great. What decision was that? And third, who benefits when I get this done? Because the thing is that you're not studying just for yourself, you're studying for Your future family will depend on you. Your future clients depend on you. The people you will serve in your career, they are counting on you. The work you're putting in today is going to change people's lives, including your own. So, let's make this study easier. You don't need more willpower. What you need is a better system. So there's a concept called a choice architecture. Choice architecture means structuring your environment in a way that will make you taking the right choices in an easier way, more inevitable. For example, if it's difficult for you to get started, keep your study materials easy to find. When you sit down, everything's already there. If you're struggling with resistance, you can use a 5-minute rule. It's very simple. You say, I'm just going to study, I'm just going to do it for 5 minutes. I can do it 5 minutes, right? And most of the time, once you start, you will keep going more than 5 minutes. And that will help you a lot. Like if the phone is a problem, just keep it away from you. What I want you to remember is not that there is something wrong with you, that you're lacking focus. You need to find a compelling reason to get engaged. Eliminate the internal distractions. You have to reframe your internal resistance. You need an emotional connection to your goal. When you do all of that, you will no longer struggle. You'll be able to focus again. And if you want to master your focus, you can go to the website. You can type on your browser arata.se/focus course, and then you're going to be able to concentrate.